Meg, you want to kick off since you are the first on my screen?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Gut Cleanse Masterclass, all about biohacking for a healthier you. This is near and dear to my heart. I'm all about healthy habits stacked throughout the day to really create the health that you experience on a day-to-day basis. And gut health really has a history with myself over the past, let's say, 8 years. I'm currently a holistic health coach. I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate, specializing in essential oils. And I got started with this lifestyle about 8 years ago. And at the beginning of this journey to non-toxic living, I started dealing with eczema and rashes and outbreaks all over my skin. It was really stemming from leaky gut. And it was coming from basically eating a diet that was not in alignment with my constitution and, weakening my gut lining and having autoimmune response from, different foods that I had to do. All sorts of healing. I can go on for a whole webinar of like my journey, so I'm not going to get into all the details, but in a nutshell, it was basically removing the toxins from my everyday life, starting to make dietary shifts, changing different things in the home to reduce toxicity, and going through a 50-day version of this cleanse and restore, parasite cleansing, getting rid of bacteria in my gut, H. pylori, and overgrowth of yeast. And it was just, everything that was symptomatic because of the gut was because of the gut. So it was like, how do I heal my skin? Not just topical, but it was really from the inside out. So we have a lot to share with you tonight. I'm excited that has been my past, and I've come out on the other end. And I feel like a lot of people are dealing with different skin types of issues with acne, eczema, rosacea, psoriasis, and it's all, can be one and the same, treated from the gut. So I'm excited to be able to share that portion alongside Jen and Monica. We all have our own stories with our gut healing. So I'll pass it on. Excited to be here tonight.
Re-nominating.
Jennifer.
So good. So nice to see all of you guys on here. We appreciate you being here. My name is Jennifer Panza-Rohr, and my background is in yoga. For the last 14 years, I've been leading yoga classes, retreats, trainings all over. And I found myself, really diving deeper into the yogic lifestyle and what it means to live yoga. And I, of course, had many experiences with Western medicine, as most of us had, which actually led to, same thing as Meg, a gut dysbiosis or a leaky gut that I was experiencing myself. So I was on hormonal birth control from the age of 15 to around 30 something in there. So about over 15, almost close to 20 years of hormonal birth control. And when I decided to get off, after having a surgery and being on antibiotics, my gut was wrecked. And I had no idea that the symptoms that I was experiencing were actually simply symptoms of having gut issues. So I was learning at the time more about essential oils and natural supplements and diet and how I could heal my gut. And that is when I found these ladies and the Cleanse and Restore program and so many more things that we're going to be talking about tonight on this webinar. And I was able to clear up my pesky acne, lose a few pounds, and really learn about living in a way that is more harmonious with the natural rhythms of my body and with nature. And I feel like, to me, that's even better than a yoga practice, because it's living an expression of yoga and truly experiencing that oneness or that wholesome energy with ourselves, because our bodies, I believe, are always trying to get back to a state of alignment. And I'm really passionate about sharing that. So I'm really grateful and excited to be here. Back to you, Monica.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you both. So my name is Monica, and I am a licensed dietitian, holistic health practitioner. I was a fitness instructor and trainer for many, many years, and I am also a musician and a sound healing facilitator. So that's more of my work alongside nutrition now. And I also have a really interesting story with my gut. And I think that, there's been a lot of questionable unknowns in my world. I struggled a lot with IBS in my early 20s and just a lot of digestive issues I could never really understand. But in my 20s, I had also gotten breast implants. And so it wasn't until in my later 20s that I started really feeling more issues with my hormones, more issues with my digestion, problems with parasites, and just lymphatic congestion is what it felt like in my body, my skin, my hair, everything felt really dry. So I was experiencing breast implant illness. And I started going deeper into gut cleansing to start clearing out my body because I could feel the toxicity buildup in my body. And so I hadn't really done a deeper cleanse besides nutrition. I've created multiple types of cleanses, everything from, removing processed foods, alcohol, sugar kinds of cleanses, juice cleanses, things like that. And then I went deeper into water fasting and parasite cleansing and focusing more on that. Now, my specialty has always been with weight loss. And so a lot of the work that we've brought in is also around mindful eating and learning how to have a healthier relationship with food. So luckily, I did get part of the problem solved, in which I took out my breast implants. And then it was also having to rebalance my microbiome, my body. My body did have a lot of the symptoms alleviated, but then it's been a journey of really getting back into having healthy hormones and a healthy digestive system. I still have a very sensitive gut. So I personally love to do a gut cleanse twice a year. And everything that we're going to talk about with biohacking today for your health is something that I think all three of us are really passionate about and something that we do on a day-to-day. So again, welcome. I'm going to share the screen. We have a quick little PowerPoint, and we do recommend, if you want to take notes or feel free to ask questions, put them in the chat and we will get to you towards the end. And yes, our bodies do speak to us when something is off. So that's also another part of this work that we encourage you to do, is to really be a deep listener. So biohacking for a healthier you. Let's do this. So what is biohacking? So by definition, biohacking involves making incremental changes to your diet, lifestyle, and environment to enhance physical and mental performance. It's often guided by data and personal experimentation, like the Oura Ring, or being able to track your cycle, things like that. This involves integrating strategies such as customized nutrition, targeted exercise, supplementation, and holistic approaches to sleep and stress management, all while prioritizing the reduction of toxic exposure through lifestyle adjustments. So personalization is important in this because everyone's different and our cells are different, our genes, where we live, our environment. I mean, we are so diverse, each of us. And so biohacking emphasizes personalized approaches. What works for one person may not work for another. So it does involve some trial and error. Let me wipe out here.
All right, biohacking for gut health. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not just one thing, it's all the things. And so this is an example of some of the things that we do in our 30-day program, but also as part of your lifestyle. So at the top, dietary changes. When I was going through my gut stuff and skin stuff, I was eating a vegan diet, and that's where I was eating an irresponsible vegan diet. I wasn't soaking the grains and the beans, or, paying attention to eating complete proteins, probably having a lot of blood sugar spikes with eating like a lot of fruits and smoothies and acai bowls and things like that. So when I started to heal from the inside out, really had to focus in on, I found out my blood type and learned about the blood type diet, and I switched to a diet more in alignment with my O positive blood type, and eating balanced meals to help maintain blood sugar balance, which is also key and critical for maintaining gut health. And this is a holistic approach, this program, this lifestyle. And so, with Jen's experience of hormones, by working through the gut, she was able to balance it in that way. So everything is so interconnected. With intermittent fasting, we play around with different time lengths. It's all individual based. So this is like about trying experimentation, seeing how well you do with fasting, what your ideal times are. Maybe you do single day fast, maybe you do intermittent fasts, but we play around with that on individuals. Hydration is key for everything in our body. We're 60 to 70% water, and good quality water is really important. So a way to biohack is to remove toxins from your environment, from your lifestyle. And if you haven't checked your city's level of toxicity in the water, I'll put in the chat the website that you can go to put in your zip code, and you can see the level of contaminants that are in your water. And my healing journey with the gut and the skin was about 2 or 3 years of a lot of trial and error, and just, planting the seeds and putting the foundations to my health and creating these health rituals and these biohack habits. But changing the water was probably the last thing I did to really, truly experience full healing of my skin. And I have a water filter. I have a water ionizer, a shower filter as well, because when you shower, you absorb so much through the skin, likely even more than the water that you're drinking, consuming. Definitely focusing on stress management and having the tools that are within your tool belt to pull out at any time. We're chronically stressed as a society, and, as a yoga teacher, a sound healer as well, leading meditations, coming to the breath is key, is number one for managing your emotions. And then we love to use essential oils. And when you use essential oils and you breathe in the aromatics, reaching the limbic system of the brain, it can have this direct effect on the body. So you can manage your stress, manage your nerves, and the body's response to that. And then sleeping. Sleeping is a huge biohack that, if we're not fully rested, our body's system upgrade didn't happen in full overnight, then that will add up, and that will cause inflammation, and that will cause grogginess and mood issues and just lack of focus. And, everything is affected by sleep. And then being able to track your data. So biohacking is, trying out different things for you, ultimately what works best for you and making tweaks along the way. We have a lot of different biohacking tools that we love to use that we can dive into throughout the program. But I really enjoy my Lumen device, which is a way that helps with my nutritional and my movement needs. So yeah, it's all inclusive.
So let's talk a little bit about why gut health matters. So many of us don't know that our gut is our second brain, and there are over 1 million different cells that are a super highway of information between our gut and our brain. And a fun fact is that 70 to 90% of our immune system is actually based in our gut. So it's really dependent on a healthy biome in order for us to have that super healthy functioning immune system so that we don't get sick and we can live our best lives. And in this modern day living time that we're in right now, we are exposed to a lot of toxic exposure, reduced nutrients in food, sugar added to literally every food that's out there. And that, combined with a bunch of other things, can really lead to a lot of digestive imbalances, and that we may not even know that we have it. Like, I had no idea that my issues, even because I was so healthy doing all these things, I had no clue that I did have leaky gut or gut dysbiosis, and that I really did need to heal my gut. And that was the root of my problem. I thought that I just had a skin problem, or I had a mood problem, or I had a weight problem. And that was not what was happening at all.
Little do we know sometimes our gut health. And I want to preface before I jump into the slide how valuable that is, because you can really see that in children when they have sugar or when they're eating a diet that is of ultra processed foods. They tend to have a harder time focusing, having good energy, stable energy. And a lot of the times we blame it on, even other things. It can be electronics. It can just be like, oh, their age, but really diet makes a huge difference. And so it does affect our mood as well. And I can totally attest to this. Because if I'm eating something really heavy or something that just like sits wrong in my body, I, number one, feel like crap and I don't feel good and my energy changes. And so the gut brain axis is a communication system between your gut and brain. Your gut's bacteria produce mood-related chemicals like serotonin. In fact, the gut provides approximately 95% of the body's serotonin, most of which exists in plasma. An imbalance in these bacteria can lead to mood issues like anxiety and depression. Keeping your gut healthy with a good diet can help improve your mood. So I've also noticed like a huge difference, other than like if something doesn't sit well when I eat it in my stomach, but just you can feel chronic inflammation in your body. You can start to really feel, and the more you tune in with your body, the more you'll notice what foods do and don't sit well. And I work a lot with my clients on this, in which we're doing a food elimination diet, because even celery or carrots or, certain grains, they can be like, well, this is really healthy, but you might have a sensitivity to it, or it might not be something that's good for your particular body. And so it's something to really connect with. And so our question is, are you experiencing any of these emotional symptoms? Anxiety, brain fog, headaches, depression, unmotivated, easily stressed, feeling sluggish, or trouble focusing? And again, I bring this back to kids because they are super sensitive with food. And I can tell with children, especially when we change their diet, it's immediate. Children with ADHD and just like a lot of focus problems. It's really, diet is like such an important part, because that is really creating all of these chemicals in our bodies that are affecting our brains primarily. So put in the chat if maybe 111, if you do struggle with these things. I for sure have in different parts of my life in different seasons.
All right, so moving on to more of physical symptoms. So emotional, covered. Do you feel any of the following: fatigue, irritability, drained or depressed, poor memory, headaches, chronic headaches, skin problems, hormonal imbalances, sugar cravings after you want always something sweet after meals, persistent digestive issues like heartburn, indigestion, bloating, gas, constipation, candida, IBS? I feel like this heaviness just like reading this, because I know how much this can affect just how you're feeling, like going back to that mood slide. Or maybe you're feeling like joint pain, inflammation, nasal congestion, always getting sick, recurrent infections, stomach bugs, parasites. If you answered yes to any of these, it's time to detox. And the thing is, detoxing can be part of your everyday lifestyle. There's practices to do, but you may be needing a deeper detox. So we have options for all levels. But this is really good to kind of take inventory of this last slide and this one too, because sometimes when we're used to feeling bad, that can become our new normal. And we just want to remind you that it's not normal to feel all of this when you are living in alignment and eating the right foods for your body and giving it the right rest. And it just takes a certain, formula to learn and to try out and to reestablish habits. Maybe you fell off track in trying to come into this place to really lower your toxic load, just to feel better and to feel really good in your skin.
And so if you've arrived at this place, so I see some of you typing in the chat that you felt some of those symptoms before. And the first thing I want you to know, number one, it's not your fault. There's so many things that influence and hurt our gut in the modern day world. And the second thing I want you to know is that you're not alone, because everybody else on this call is experiencing or has experienced one or many of those symptoms, and that you're 100% in the right place if you have any of those issues, or you're feeling any of the things that we just talked about, because that's exactly why we're here for you. And the truth is that the real problem is that there are so many things that are out there that we just are exposed to that hurt our gut. So not having enough sleep, we already talked about that. Not having enough fiber, if we're not eating enough of those fruits and vegetables that are nurturing that good microbiome, it can really damage our gut. Also, the pollution that we live in a modern day context, when you walk into a building or you are, sometimes even in our own home, we're exposed to pollution, things in the air, cleaning products that we can't really protect ourselves from. If you've ever washed your hands in a public bathroom, a lot of the antibacterial soaps can actually destroy those healthy microbes in our gut. And so something so simple as washing our hands, and you think, oh, I'm doing a good thing for my body by killing the gut or killing the microbes on your hands, which you are doing, but you're also then killing the gut microbes. And you never would think about that when you're washing your hands, right? Even over-the-counter painkillers like Tylenol and Advil can have adverse effects for the gut. Not to mention things in food like artificial food coloring that have negative effects on our gut, as well as medications, antibiotics that kill those good microbiome as well. And as Meg mentioned, water is really important. And when we take a shower, all of the public water, it has chlorine in it, which kills both good and bad bacteria, which can be really damaging for our gut microbiome. And of course, the obvious one is the sweets. We talked about that. It also can be spicy food that has an effect on our guts. We don't often think about that, but that one is the one that I am guilty of because I prefer spicy over sweets. And it's been that way since I was 2 years old. I think it's the Italian part of me or something, but it's really hard on our gut. And so these little things, we don't think about them as being a big deal. It's just washing your hands or taking an Advil here and there. But all of those combined together in the modern day setting can really have damage on our health. And yes, maybe it is the Latina in me. I'm a Latina at heart.
I think Jen's a Latina, so I think
the
it's
Mediterranean side.
So what are other lifestyle and contributing factors that maybe we don't think about? Because a lot of the things that we've mentioned, I'm sure your doctor or a healthcare practitioner has brought up, but it goes a lot deeper than this. And I think that this is a really important theme and topic to talk about, because these are the types of things that are on a microbial level and just in a way that like we can't always see it in the eye, and it's beyond our visual parameter, let's say. And so I'm going to start with commercial personal products, because I was super guilty of loving going into Sephora, into Target, into all these like beauty lab stores and buying fun makeup and products and sprays and sunscreens and anything with shimmer on the body. I was like super into it without really realizing how much fragrance and how many chemicals were in these products, which again, now we have found they are carcinogenic. They are also not good for our body, because they're going to be absorbed into the skin, and they contain a lot of fragrance and phthalates and other chemicals that disrupt our hormones. And so I was like, wait, what? It was such a bummer, but this is something that we do need to talk about. And I remember years after discontinuing use of like, those spray deodorants and all these like brands, and I casually used it once in a gym, and my skin broke out in rashes from the exposure to these chemicals, it was like, what is the antiperspirant sprays? Like, I don't know. I never use those. And I just had a huge reaction. And so it really showed me how much my body rejected these things. But at the time I didn't think twice. And I grew up in this, like that, I always went to like Walgreens and stuff and bought a bunch of stuff my mom would let me. So next up, plastics and PFAs. And so this is everything from plastic food containers, water bottles, receipts, nonstick cookware, maybe things that we get for free, or they just happen to show up in our world and we just keep them around. They're convenient. They won't break, receipts end up piling in the bag, you know? And what can we do? We can go electronic and also swap out for glass. And that's been a really big part of my lifestyle. Especially in Mexico, I love having glass mason jars and filling everything with glasses. And yes, we get to be a little bit more careful, and I like to get woven bags and like pretty bags for carrying my bottles so that they don't break. And just being more intentional about what I store in my house, because if I have a bunch of plastic stored that I might use one day, I'm more likely to use it versus just getting rid of it and not keeping any like single plastic use, and just like really minimizing the exposure to that. The last one is synthetic chemicals. So this one is another big one. Cleaning products, laundry detergent, bug sprays, even clothing and pesticides. And this was a big shift for me. I think even when I started bringing essential oils and doTERRA into my lifestyle, I mean, I definitely, and I know Meg and Jen, we all have similar stories where it's like, these were just things we didn't think much about. Being in Tulum, where clothing brand stores are very far and few, it's local artisan hand makers, and the fabric and the materials are so quality. And it really changed my perspective of like fast fashion and just buying these like commercial brands. And even fragrances, like I avoid fragrance in the car. I'd rather you make my own misters with oils. I buy my own detergents and my own cleaning products. And it's simple and it's way more cost effective. And on top of it, it's protecting my health and protecting my body. So these can be things that slip under the cracks. And yeah, feel free to share on, the Ubers. Oh my God. Share if you relate.
So let's talk a little bit about what happens when we are experiencing so much of the toxins that we're talking about. And if you are someone that shops at Walgreens, and if you are somebody that you're like, oh, wow, like I'm pretty sure, like check, like I do everything that we just talked about, there's no need to be ashamed or feel like you are, like I think the holistic community sometimes are like us versus them. And the truth is it's a process to start shifting out beginning of your journey, you're in the right place. Or if you've been doing this a long time and you're like, I already know all of this stuff, great. That's fantastic. And there's always more that we can learn. And there's more ways that we can tweak our daily or daily toxic load, to be able to reduce that toxic energy that's in our bodies and in our lives. So if you are in the right place, if you're still shopping at Walgreens, it's totally fine. And we're going to teach you how to start swapping out some of that stuff and what to use and how to do it, because it can be a little bit overwhelming at first. But over time, the idea is to slowly start building up your healthy lifestyle habits, start to switch out things in your home and give your gut the chance to rebalance, so that you don't have that toxic overload that is causing the hormonal imbalances, the skin issues, the weight gain, and all of the other fatigue things that we've been talking about before. And we really, really recommend, which is why we are so passionate about doing this, is because it's something that we all have been doing in our own health and wellness practices to support our body through a seasonal detox at least once or twice a year to support our vacation system. So I love these little pictures down below, because this is really what's happening in our body, right? We've got the digestive tract. You've got your small and your large intestines that are struggling to have that good microbiome. You've got your kidney and your liver that are just not really able to handle all of the things that we put on our bodies. I think the statistic is that over 50,000 chemicals have been created and patented over the last 50 years. And so our grandparents, even our parents to a large degree, have not had the toxic overload that our bodies and our generations and the future generations are experiencing, because all of this is. So the best thing we can do is help our body out as it is trying to receive all of this information and sort out what is good and what is bad, what is nourishing and what is toxic, and allow our bodies to rebalance back the way that they're meant to be.
So going into some of the ways that we can reduce toxicity, like Jen said, it's a process, and a lot of things you see on the slide are things that changes that I made in my life from becoming a holistic health coach until, that was when I was going through the healing journey, and I even put it into an ebook of how to detox your kitchen, bathroom, and body, and step by step, and how to ditch and switch. And so it becomes it might feel a little overwhelming at first, but then it becomes a more simplistic way to live. Like, we get all of our non-toxic products from doTERRA. Instead, I considered myself before a CVS shopper. I had all of the conventional products, the bleach, the Colgate, the deodorant with aluminum, the Febreze. Like, I just didn't know until I knew. And so we talked about already the natural fabric for your clothing. Like, I'm wearing linen pants right now, and it's just feels so good on the skin. And someone brought up a point when, especially as yoga teachers, like in even hot yoga, like if you're wearing the synthetic clothing and going into hot yoga, and it's like just more absorption into the skin, whatever we apply to the skin gets absorbed. And a lot of the things that you see on the screen are going to be also trigger things to have you create a ripple effect of, oh, well, what about this area in my life? Can I change out your feminine products, organic cotton? There's a whole thing about all of the chemicals found in women's tampons, like just as last week, and we're absorbing that. Swapping out synthetic perfume for essential oils. All of the perfumes and colognes are made of synthetic fragrances, which is a cocktail of chemicals. And you can make your own beautiful scents pairing different oils. Like, you can really get into it, like a base note, a mid note, a top note, blending a floral with a woodsy or a citrus oil. And these essential oils, the perfume is going to have side benefits for your body rather than side effects. Same thing with using plants as medicine. When I got started in doTERRA, it's like all about the top 10 essential oil collection. If you've been to one of my essential oil 101 classes, the intro classes, you've likely learned about the top 10 oils. Well, you can cover about 80% of your day-to-day needs with 10 oils in your collection. And this is going to replace the Advil, the Tums, the Allegra, all the over-the-counter, all the CVS things at your fingertips, natural. Using non-toxic pans, that was one of the switches that I made I use cast iron and the ceramic. Those have worked well in our home. We got rid of the sticky, what is it called? The non-stick pans. That has toxic forever chemicals in there leaching into your food. I swapped all of the plastic to glassware. The storage container is what you heat the food up in. I got rid of the microwave years ago, and we have a little oven, like a stove countertop oven, like a toaster oven that does like all the different settings. So that was a swap that we made. And then replacing your candles. And even those of yogis who like to burn the incense too, that is putting toxins into the air. So a great way to replace it is with a diffuser. Diffusing essential oils, and we even have those wall plugins that are motion detected. And then ditching the conventional cleaning products. So I got rid of all the CVS items. I use doTERRA, the laundry detergent, the dish soap, the laundry pods, the shampoo, conditioner, the toothpaste, the mouthwash. So it's really great because it's natural, it's plant-based, and it's third-party tested. So it's like, I don't have to be like scrutinizing the products in the aisles at the health food store, because at the health food store, there's still tons of synthetic fragrances. So reducing your toxicity is half the battle. And when you really can control what's in your home environment, you're winning, because we have so much that we need to detox from in our environment with the car exhaust, secondhand smoke, the pesticides. So really being able to take your health in your own hands with the habits and the lifestyle that you live has been a tremendous help for myself, a number of us on the call, and our family and our clients. becomes simple over time. Just trust me. It's a lot to hear right now at once.
And we've helped, honestly, thousands of people like over the years. So it's really like, it makes a difference. And I know that many people feel the difference. And so the secret to your future and your health is hidden in your daily routine. And I think we can't emphasize this enough. Megan was posting a really fun reel of her and I doing yoga. And when us three were together recently here in Mexico, we got to just self-care all the time. And that's something that we love to do in between work. And, they were kind of on vacation, but we were doing a little mastermind together. And we really notice a difference. And I think it's been a way to really preserve ourselves and also to reverse any health stuff. And you can do that too. It's just a matter of committing and being really consistent. So daily habits for optimal health. This is something that we really wanted to talk about because this is part of biohacking. This is something that we recommend if you haven't started doing to start putting into your schedule. I like to do some things daily, some things weekly, or a couple times a week, some things monthly. It really just depends, but just having it written down and trying to schedule it in as a form of my to-do list, it guarantees that I'm more likely to do it. So this is our secret sauce for longevity and to feeling your absolute best.
So some daily detox rituals. Like I just mentioned, we are exposed to toxins in our environment. So you can help your body's innate detoxification system with a lot of these practices. First, starting with your oral care. Right when you wake up in the morning, you have a chance to scrape the alma, which is the toxic buildup that you see on your tongue after a night of sleep. You scrape that off. You can do oil pulling. It's an Ayurvedic practice using coconut oil or sesame oil. You can even add drop of essential oil. I like to drop clove in or On Guard. And then using the fluoride-free toothpaste, mouthwash, the On Guard and the Super Mint is great. Lymphatic and skin. So these are practices that you can do that not only double as your beauty practices, but helping your body detox because our lymph doesn't have a pump. We need to do practices like dry brushing, gua sha, facial cupping, rebounding on the trampoline. I just actually got one of those for Amazon Prime Day. I'm excited for that. Lymphatic massage, and then contrast therapy. Would love to do spa, sauna, steam room, cold plunge, and then detox baths, Epsom salt baths, help your body recover with magnesium. So this is things that you can put into your day to day and within your week.
I can finish the other half. So movement, walking after meals. This is something we all love to do actually. And we hold each other accountable. Like we're going to go for a walk now that we ate. It's actually really good for helping lower your blood sugars. Averaging 10K steps daily. I can't emphasize how much I love my Oura Ring. Also, if you happen to walk with your phone can track your steps. So that can be a support to tell you roughly how much you walked. Yoga and mobility work. So even once or twice a week, daily for yoga and daily stretching. I think daily stretching is fundamental, especially as we get older. So we can wake up and if we feel a little stiff, we can warm into our bodies before turning the coffee machine on and worrying about taking care of family or other things. Consistent strength and cardio training. Yes, yes, and yes. We've all been fitness trainers, and as we age, we lose a lot of muscle mass. Consider strength training 2 to 3 times a week and be really consistent, and also sync fitness with your infradian rhythm. And we're speaking more specifically to you women who have a menstrual cycle. This is very specific to where you are in your cycle, and we're happy to chat more about that. But there's so much research that just shows how much more effective it can be to really work with your body's natural cycles versus trying to force yourself to do something when you probably should be resting or taking it easy. Sleep, creating a relaxing bedtime routine. So I am guilty of this probably being my weakest point, but I've really made the effort to now just start listening to audiobooks and journaling before bed. It helps me fall asleep way faster. Getting 7 to 8 hours of regular sleep. So I do swear by my Serenity sleep stick. I mean, that stuff is gold. I fall asleep in less than 10 minutes, and it's just like my nighttime routine must. Also, avoid bright screens about an hour before bed, shut the laptop off, turn off the TV, and optimize your sleep environment. Make sure the room is a little bit cooler. It's not bright lights. If you need face masks or earplugs or things like that, like consider it, especially when you're traveling. And most importantly, stop eating 1.5 to 2 hours before bed. Your gut needs rest after eating. So if you are eating and then going to bed, your body wants to rest, but your gut is actually still working. So you are going to take about 2 to 4 hours, depending on your last meal and how big it was and what foods you ate, to really fully digest. But at least 1.5 to 2 hours should be sufficient to help you not go to bed feeling like you have your food up your throat. And last but not least, nature therapy. Forest bathing, also known as Shinrin-yoku. I love just being out in nature, getting lost and just walking in the trails. Daily sun exposure, about 20 minutes. If you are by a beach, get out there, go watch the sunrise or sunset. Hiking, gardening, or playing outside at least a couple times a week. Outdoor sports trips or adventures. Go have fun with you and your family and friends. And like we said earlier, benefits for also movement and lowering blood sugars, but just for our mindset and well-being, and for also helping sync our clocks to nature's clocks, sunrise and sunset walks.
And
Jenny.
so part of those daily routines, I know there's a lot of things that we just, mentioned and recommended. And so if you're like, what, I don't even know what some of those are, I've only done 1 or 2 of those, that's okay. And supplements can really help to support your gut on all. I don't know about anybody else, but I used to be the type of person that my mom used to make me take vitamins when I was a kid, and I hated the way that they tasted. And I would have these like weird vitamin stomach aches, and I just didn't like taking supplements. And so as soon as I was old enough to take them, and that's because the supplements that I was taking were garbage. And the truth is that supplementation is absolutely necessary in today's. Food is ripening on trucks. It's coming from far, far away. And oftentimes that nutritional value is not there. I heard a statistic that 1 orange today that we would have to eat actually 18 of those oranges in order to get the same nutritional value as our grandparents would for just 1 orange. And so when we're doing our best to get organic food, we're doing all the things, which most of us are not. We still need supplementation to really make sure that we're getting all of our nutrients. And without nutrients, that's the gas to our engine of our car. And if we're not giving our body the gas, the fuel that it needs, have fatigue, acne, all of these dysfunctions, because it's literally running on fumes. It has no gas. And so we love the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which is a quality supplement line that is specifically designed to really give us the vitamins and the nutrients that we need for our body to be supported. And so if you were to go to Whole Foods, this is what I love about this line, is that it's so simple. So if you were to go to Whole Foods and you were to put all of the ingredients that are in this simple 3-pack system, you would have to purchase over $250 worth of individual supplements. And you would have to take over 50 pills, which I don't know about you guys, but I'm not interested in doing that every single morning for my daily routine. So this supplement line is really great. It's omegas. It is a cellular antioxidant blend, and basically a salad in a bottle. Basically just your regular multivitamin that is helping to support your body from the inside out. So this is really pretty much everything you need in your body to help it run properly. And then we also recommend to take a probiotic that is more than just a probiotic, but something that also has a prebiotic. So the gut microbiome, we want to feed those good gut bacteria. It's basically, I like to think of like a war going on in my stomach all the time, even though that's not really that friendly and pretty. But it is what's happening, right? And so we get to feed our good microbes or we get to feed our bad microbes, which is like bacteria, fungus, candida, all of that stuff. And adding in a great quality probiotic is going to help to nurture the good gut bacteria that we all want to feed. And by doing that, that's going to strengthen our immune system, it's going to support our mood, and it's going to help our overall body function. And then last but not least, we love for our daily routine a digestive enzyme. As we age, we actually lose digestive enzymes. Our body stops making them as much. And because of that, a lot of times as we're digesting food, our body isn't really breaking down the food into nutrients and it can't be absorbed by that gut lining. So adding in a digestive enzyme is really great because it will help to break down the food in the stomach. So chances are, if you're feeling bloated, if you're feeling that you have any digestive issues at all, adding a digestive enzyme in, for me at least, has been a complete game changer because I started to actually digest my food. And some people think like, oh, I'm just eating vegetables. Like, if you're a vegan or vegetarian, that was my case. I was like, I'm eating things that are easy to digest. But my body was still actually having a really hard time digesting some of that food, even though it was full of fiber. So digestive enzymes are absolutely crucial. So we'll get more into the dosage before every meal, but the great thing about enzymes is that you can take them a lot. So in the cleanse, we're going to recommend that you take them first thing when you wake up in the morning, 2 or 3 with lunch, 2 or 3 with dinner, and then, or anytime you eat, and then 1 before you go to bed. So throughout the day, you are taking them, and that is helping the digestive process go along all the time. And they make a huge difference.
Yes, they do. I love my enzymes.
I couldn't live without them. I carry them in my purse everywhere. Like people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just taking my digestive enzymes and so I can live my best life.
Self-care, baby. We don't like the bloat when we're in bikinis. So seasonal detox practices, like I mentioned, some things you may do daily, others weekly, others monthly, but there's also things that we want to do when the seasons change every 3 months or even twice a year or yearly. And so some of these include eating with the season. You may or may not have heard of this. And if you live in a place like mine where it's tropical year round, it might be a little bit different. But when the seasons change and the weather changes, so does our body. So it's important to really recognize that foods, when they're grown in these environments, the external environment changes, so does the quality of these foods. So there's some foods that grow in peak seasons in winter, others in summer, others in spring, others in fall. You want to eat the foods that are in season. So you'll know when they're in season because usually there's a sign or they're on sale in the grocery store, your local vendor's market. And they're typically higher in nutritional value than when they're not in season. So berries in summer are going to be way more nutritious and probably tastier in the summer than they will be in the winter. Also, digital detoxes. If you're an entrepreneur, you're someone that works online or on your phones, or maybe you don't, and you're still on your phones all the time, like it's important to take a break. I can definitely feel when I've been on my phone too much because I feel it in my hands. My hands start to feel like too much electronic energy. And so does my brain, a little bit of anxiety in that world. So it's good to take a nice digital detox, even if it's weekends, or just take every 3 months, like a conscious 3-day, like bye-bye phone kind of feel, our computers, and just be in nature. So every 3 months, make sure you get out and go adventure, even if it's camping, in your backyard, or just like changing the scenery of your routine. It's so important for us, and to immerse ourselves in nature. That's where I find so much inspiration, and it just literally changes our microbiome, changes our mind, it changes our stress levels, changes everything. Also, seasonal cleanses. This is another important part of it, is resetting the digestive tract, allowing the digestive system to take a break from foods that are really processed and things that tend to be maybe heavy in our systems, and we just pile and pile and pile on. Also, a parasite cleanse, especially if you're a traveler. if you are a nomad, if you're someone that goes to different countries, you're drinking different waters, different foods from different soils, you're getting different bacteria in your body, and not all of them are going to sit well, especially if you eat meats or food truck style. So definitely be aware of that. And then a microbiome reset. So this is also really important to allow your flora to have a complete reset and rebuild that. Big changes come with that. So it's important. We're talking like immune stuff too.
And so we have some eating habits that are biohacks for you to live a healthy life in general. This can be done when you're just eating for energy or eating for cleansing, but whole foods. Follow the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15, which are safe to eat organic and which you can get away with conventional. And we really like to think about quality foods. I love the term if I eat a qualitarian diet because I'm looking for ingredients list above all, and most likely things that we can cook from scratch. To be able to balance your blood sugar levels, a hack is to eat in the right order. This really helps with managing inflammation as well. Starting the meal, first bites with some fiber coming from vegetables, and then have your protein and fats, and then finish with your carbs and sugars, because the protein, fat, and fiber is going to help minimize those blood sugar spikes as if you were having naked carbs or, carbs on their own. We want you to micro fast, and this is just setting ample time between your meals so that there's a mechanism in your body in the digestive process. It's called the migrating motor complex. And you can think of this as like a house cleaning service for your GI tract. And it activates about 1.5 to 2 hours after you've consumed calories. Now, if you are one to have breakfast and then go meet up with a friend for a latte or a cacao in between breakfast and lunch, and you didn't have enough time to digest your breakfast and you're getting bloated throughout the day, this may be why. Your body hasn't had time to cleanse. And when you're piling other calories on top of a meal that you've already eaten, this is where we start to have that indigestion. So really spacing your meals 3 to 4 hours in between. And like we talked about, finishing your last meal at least like 3 hours before bed. Eat to nourish your gut health with fiber. These are the probiotic rich foods, the prebiotic fibers that feed your good gut bacteria. And if you're having dessert, have it immediately after the meal. Don't wait and have it later because you'll spike your blood sugars. Really rely on that balanced meal that you had as a cushion. And then go for a walk. 15 minutes after your meal, that really helps to balance the blood sugar. I had dinner right before this and I didn't get to walk. And I told Rob, I'm like, oh, I gotta go for my walk. And he said, tune in from the call and say, hey, I'm doing your walking biohack. I'm like, no, I'll sit this one out today. But I could have.
Go
All
get
right.
it.
So if you're feeling like, whoa, I want to learn more about any of the things that we've just talked about webinar, then you are probably ready to dive deeper into revamping some of your eating habits, your daily rituals, and really looking at your toxic load. And that is exactly what we so in our Cleanse and Restore program, we have 3 different phases that we go through, reducing, cleansing our gut then restoring our gut microbiome. So we really, throughout the entire process, want to focus on reducing some of the things that we are maybe used to consuming on a more regular basis, like alcohol, sugar, coffee, over-the-counter medications, and in general, our toxic exposure. And really start to add in some more nourishing things like movement and switching out some of those products and adding nourishing foods instead of those inflammatory foods in our 30-day or 50-day experience. And then we're really thinking about cleansing, right? So we're healing that digestive lining. We're focusing on our mindset, because when we do a cleanse, it's not just the physical body, because our physical body is made up of our emotional body. And when we are more diligent about cleaning that physical body, there will be emotional shifts and things that we experience coming up. be in an open mindset and to have a support system to help you as you are cleansing, because each lung, especially according to Chinese medicine, each body system, the kidney, the liver, the lung, the skin, they all have emotional effects. And as we are physically cleansing them, we're emotionally going into supporting our body as well. So it's really cool because it gets a physical and emotional level that we are really digging deeper into our center. And it's really fun. So even though it may not sound well, it really is, I promise. And then we're really focusing on restoring. We're restoring our habits, our sleep, these daily practices. And some of them might be brand new to you, and some of them might be you're like I already know a lot of these things. I've already do a lot of these things, or maybe you've been reminded to do them. And that's what we're going to be doing in the cleanse, is help to create those healthy habits and support the process and the reminder and the sharing it more of a priority on your to-do list and help switch out some of those things. So there's a lot of things that I didn't know about in my daily routine, or little nuanced things that were, like the tip that Megan just said. I'm like, did I eat a smoothie right after I ate breakfast, like an hour later today? I think I did, right? There's so many little things that you're going to learn in this process that will help you to be in more alignment with your body and really restore your relationship with food, restore your healthy microbiome, and inch by inch create that non-toxic living lifestyle that I know that each one of you had the intuition to be on this call today, because part of you is looking to create that for yourself. And we're simply here to share our wisdom of what we have learned along our journeys and pass it along to you.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the cleanse program. I feel like I skipped a slide. Oh, maybe not. So this is a 30-day program that we have been working with for many years that has been really effective. So Jen kind of went over the 3 phases, and this is the 3 phases that are specific to the program with supplementing and what this is about. So phase 1 is meant to open up the pathways to detox our organs, including the liver, kidneys, lungs, and skin. The first phase involves activating all detox pathways of our excretory organs to manage the toxic load from eradicating harmful bacteria, yeast, and parasites, and removing toxic debris. This phase focuses on clearing and preparing these organs for the next phase. So first 10 days, that is our focus with our supplements. And then we switch it out to phase 2, which is when we go into the gut reset. Typically, we are doing this around the full moon. So this is for parasite and fungal cleansing, and we are here to eliminate those toxins out. The reset phase follows and involves the eradication of these harmful colonies. During this phase, the body will be dealing with the die-off of these unfriendly guests in our body, and one may experience very mild flu-like symptoms. So a lot of the times, phase 1, people are like, I don't feel much. Phase 2, you start to, you really start to notice, oh yeah, my gut's going through some changes, but it is temporary, and it's because you're changing all the living organisms inside of your gut. And then we go into phase 3. So the last 10 days, this is to restore your microbiome and support healthy lifestyle transition. So the final renew phase involves restoring beneficial bacteria and boosting cellular metabolic health and function. We want your body to be working at its prime. So nurturing a robust microbiome lays the foundation for transitioning into a healthy lifestyle. So again, this is a 3-phase program, and it's primarily the foundation of it is these supplements. I'm going to let Jen talk a little bit more about the supplements in general, but there's more to it. But this is like the key stuff to go a little bit further beyond diet and beyond lifestyle.
Yes, I can chat a little bit about this, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a couple of slides, but Megan can talk a little bit about these specific the I talked a little bit about the supplements. So the main thing to know is that the supplements that we're going to be using are the same ones that I mentioned before about how these supplements are the foundation of our daily practice. And this is what we do every day. And this is part of our overall cleanse, is those same vitality vitamins that I was talking about, the digestive enzymes. And then there are a few other supplements that are going to be really key for this experience that Meg can share a little bit more about.
So we have our foundation that we're laying out for 30 days. And in the first 10 days, we bring in our Zendocrine supplement to help those detox pathways open. So that phase 2, when we bring in the GX Assist, that is the gut cleanse portion. And then phase 3, we're stacking on our DDR Prime, which is DNA damage repair, a blend of essential oils, and the pre and probiotics. So that's going to help rebuild and support your new microbiome. And when we get into the cleanse, you'll have a supplement tracker to keep you on schedule of what to be taking in the first 10 days, second and third. And then for those of you who want to do the parasite cleanse, this is the cleanse that I did when I was healing from all of the leaky gut. You do phase 1, 2, and 3, because in phase 2, it comes the die off with the parasites. Now, parasites are like, they want to survive in their host. So what do? They lay their babies when they die. And so the 50-day comes through with the repeat of phase 2 to kill off the babies again. And so Monica mentioned, if you travel, you want to do a parasite cleanse. But even if you don't travel, if you eat seafood, if you eat sushi, if you eat pork, if you have a pet, if you walk barefoot, and if you eat fruits and vegetables, then you can contract parasites. I do all of those things. And so I do the 50-day version at least twice a year. Because we're walking microbes, but we want to make sure that the microbes, they are outnumbering us already. We want to make sure that the bad ones aren't outnumbering us. We want to have the strong ones present and eradicate what we don't need. And that's why this cleanse is safe to do seasonally. You can do it 4 times a year if you wanted to. But I personally do it at least 2, if not 3, depending on my travel schedule. All right, so this is going to show what the 30-day looks like. Everything on the screen, you get it for $311 plus support from our group, our community. With the cleanse, you do the cleanse and restore kit, and you add a second bottle of Terrazyme. And then recommended, if you would like to add the turmeric capsules, this is a blend of turmeric oil and turmeric powder, really supports the detoxification process, the digestive process, and reducing inflammation. And if you want to do the 50 days, this is what it's going to look like. You'll start with that same month 1, $311.50. And then for month 2, we stay on the foundational LLV, Lifelong Vitality, and then we need to order extra bottles of the supplements. So month 1, 311, month 2 is 171.50. It's going to bring your total to $483 for the 50 days. You will be earning doTERRA dollars back on this order, because if you want to do the 50-day version, make sure to tell the wellness advocate who set you up to help you set up your loyalty order so that you get paid doTERRA dollars.
Yeah, so this is the program that, as we noted in the previous 3 phases, like the foundational stuff, the vitamins and everything, like this is what you take throughout. And then we have the 3 phases, which break it up so much better. And to be honest, like it's so much more than just supplements. And that's what I think Megan was talking about, because we are including grocery lists, a 30-day meal plan, delicious recipes, specialty support by our community, specializing in certain conditions, skin conditions, digestive issues, hormones, parasites, weight loss. A lot of us are specialized in this. So we have a lot of resources to also give you. We do a welcome call for everyone that's joining us just to go over the entire program, nutrition recommendations that we recommend, and mindful practices. We have a WhatsApp group for an online community chat, and it is awesome. We have one of the testimonials here on the right, just sharing a little bit about what it was like for them. We also offer giveaways for participants, those that are really present with us. And of course, our self-care and detox protocol, similar to what we shared tonight, but way more in depth to give you specifics on how to do everything. And you get support from us. So you get to have us cheering you on and really being present with you, which coaching alone, I charge very different than what we are offering in this community. And I think all of us kind of have our own private practice in our own way. And so you get to just be in community with many different coaches who are here to see you shine and feel your best.
Jen.
Yes. So what we want to do, how can you actually cleanse with us? How can you get started? The first thing that you're going to want to do is reach out to the person that invited you to this masterclass. So whoever sent you the link or wherever you found it, you want to reach out to your wellness advocate so that they can send you the link or help you order the products and supplies. And by simply ordering the products and supplies, you are going to get access to all of the education, all of the information, and all of the knowledge that Monica has shared, which combined of all of the people that have added to this, we probably have over a century of advice and knowledge and practices that are being shared in this cleanse. And so it's not just a little thing. You're going to really truly be supported, and that's it. You just order your supplies and join the community. It's really simple, and it is something that you can easily do today.
Really and simple and really effective, because once you're in, you're in. And we have some other goodies that we want to just bring forward before we wrap up here. And just want to thank you guys for staying a little bit over an hour. There's so much that we want to share with you, and we really try to keep it as concise as possible. But when you are signing up for this cleanse, you are getting so many other bonuses. So if you go to reorder any of your supplements or products, you're going to get 25% off for an entire year. So it's more than just a one-time buy. You actually get a wholesale account for doTERRA. This includes all their cleaning products, all of their skincare, all of their essential oils, 25% off. Also, you get a free gift. So you can choose between a hand wash, a diffuser, or toothpaste. So that can already knock off some things that you might want for the cleanse and to start embracing a healthier lifestyle. You get a wellness consult from the person that brought you in to this group. And that's 101. So you can really dive deeper into things that you want to work on. And of course, access to our private WhatsApp community, which is amazing and awesome and global. And a lot of us are healthcare practitioners, and we've been in this business for many, many years. And we've been using holistic health practices, natural ways of healing the body. So we have so many different answers and ways to support you that it's truly beautiful and remarkable. And I'm so grateful for this community. And we have an upcoming cleanse, August 5th. Meg, anything?
Join us. We're excited for the summer cleanse. We do it every season. So cleansing your gut is the first step towards reclaiming your health and your vitality. Embrace the journey and watch your energy and life transform. Dr. Frank Lippman. He was one of my teachers in IIN as well. So yeah, it's all about treating your body well from the inside out. And this is what this program can provide for you. We'd love for you to join us. So thank you for taking your time to learn about what you can do on a daily basis to live this type of lifestyle, including seasonal cleansing. If there's any questions, I think we have our last.
I think the most important thing is for people to take the moment to check in with themselves and think about where they're at now, and what we talked about at the beginning of the cleanse of what are the problems that you're Googling at night? What are the things that are happening in your day to day? And what if those problems were better? What if you could be in more harmony? What if you could live that lifestyle with your gut feeling good so that you can live your best life and say yes to all of the things that you want to? And that's really it, is the power to just say yes today and create your own story. We're really powerful believers in manifestation, and each one of us, I believe, can create our own reality. And we do have actually, we'd love to take any questions. So if you want to type them in the chat, and we also have a couple of people on our webinar. Don't just take our word for it, right? We want to hear from our community and some of our leaders, because it's not just us that is leading this community, but we're actually a community of yoga teachers and doctors and healers and massage therapists and acupuncturists. And we have so many incredible people as part of our group, and just passionate wellness, people who just live a wellness lifestyle and like to share what they have learned along the way. So we have a couple of people that if anyone is on the call that would like to share a testimony, you can. I know we have Gabriella here, who is one of our facilitators and yoga teacher. I'd love to have you share, Gabriella, of what this cleanse has done for you, how it's helped you, how it supported you, and a little bit more about your journey.
Hi, thank you so much for the class. I love how you guys presented because it's so informative. And yes, I've gone through the path of being the biggest consumer of everything and then switching into little by little into the more clean lifestyle. And doing the cleanse is definitely one of the best things that I ever done in regards to realizing how much my body really needed to get rid of stuff. It's like I really saw the experience of me getting rid of all the mucus, like eating clean, eating right, and then the first week I'm having like a lot of congestion, coughing, and I'm not getting sick, but it's just things coming out. Seeing that my body is showing like little dots of red stuff in my belly button, and I'm like, what is that? It's not mosquito bites. And then there's another one, and there's another one. I'm like, my body was really detoxing, and it wasn't just necessarily acne, but then it's like, I do it twice a year, and every time that I'm in my day 15 or 20, I'm like, I'm never gonna touch alcohol anymore because I do drink my wines. And in the day 20, I'm like, I'm never going back to sushi or pork, but I'm Mexican and I love my pastor tacos and I love my tequila and I love my wines. And I was like, hey, so that is my balance. That's how it works for me. When I get too far away from my healthy eating, my body's talking to me. I start to get like canker sores. I start to get in, like more sugar cravings, and I know that it's time to go back closer into the clean. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yay. Thank you for
Okay.
sharing, Gabriella. I also wanted to real quick just answer a question that was asked about how often if we can do the cleanse if those dates don't work. And yes, the answer is you can do them. We do host them seasonally. So we will be doing one in fall in a couple months as well. And we're doing them every 3 months, but you can do it on your own. We have the resources available. And someone will absolutely share all of that information with you. It's very detailed. We've put in so much time and work into the recipes, the meal plans, just giving you some guidance in case you're not really sure. Or maybe you are more seasoned in cleansing and you kind of already know what to do and you just want to get the supplements. So we're here to support whatever you choose, but personally, the accountability and the community is what makes it for me. We're starting this cleanser on my birthday, so I'm super stoked. I like to do it in the beginning of the year and in the middle of the year. I think, Megan, you're on the spring and fall kick. So we alternate. We like to do it twice a year. And yeah, and anyone else that wants to share? Thank you all so much for joining. We hope that you learned something, and please feel free to share this either with someone that you love or someone that you would like to cleanse with you, or someone that maybe, has been struggling with their own gut health or potentially could start making some big changes. And we hope that they get the results that they want. So thank you, Meg. Thank you,
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So nice to have you on. We can't wait to hear your results at the end.
Hope to see you guys in the chat if you'll be joining us. And if you have any other questions, feel free to throw them in here or reach out to the person that invited you. We're happy to answer any questions.
Thanks so much. And I want to say thank you to Francis and Jane, because those two, they're already in our community ready to start. So I'm super excited, and Jenny's doing it for the second time, and she is a big fan. So yay, she's coming back.
Yoo-hoo.
Yay.
Bye
So
guys,
good.
thanks.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.